we're back and we're gonna roll out these buns. This is my favorite part. This dough is about to burst out of the bowl. That fresh yeast is a powerhouse. Even when it comes to whole wheat flour, it's unstoppable. And nothing smells as good as your homemade dough. Really, you can't compare it to anything. So, we don't need much. A dough cutter, simple. You can buy it at any supermarket, pretty much. Um, Kitchen scale, going to help you get equal weight on all your buns. Which, again, you can watch these cooking shows and they'll tell you you need all this stuff. Back then, they would have just grabbed the dough and shaped it and eyed it out. I don't really care. Whatever you want to do, I'm going to use these because it makes things go a little bit faster. And if you're nitpicky about stuff, then yeah, I mean, what does it take to have a couple of simple tools around? So I'm going to start by flouring this space. Okay. So our dough don't stick because we want it to be easy to work with now. And just a few sprinkles of flour. You don't need much. We don't want this dough to absorb too much flour here. And onto the counter it goes. Don't be scared. So, let's turn that scale on, and we're looking for, depending on how many buns you want, anywhere between 88 grams to 100 grams. If you want 10 buns, 12 buns, 8 buns, I'm looking for 8 to 10. So again, 85, 88 grams, 100 grams. Don't be nitpicky about this stuff. Really, it's however you want it to be and however many buns you want. So I'm going to go 90-gram buns. $95. You know what? Because they're a little smaller than I expected. So, what's the trick to rolling these out? You just do it like you don't care. You start off by kind of pressing it against the counter, and you'll feel the bun start to tighten up. Now, as that happens, how do you finish it off? It's all about feel. You want to feel the bun going around the outside of your hands. And when you feel it kind of get as tight as it can, then you'll end up with this perfect little nub underneath. And when I say perfect, not necessarily, but anything that's round and tight, you're going to have a good bun. So this is something you got to get a feel for. If you've never done it, it sounds intimidating. Don't let it be. Grab some dough and start rolling. Look, I'm not even using my pastry cutter. So this is 100 grams, this one. Now, I don't recommend making them all different sizes, but if you're a couple grams off on each bun, no big deal. All right. Ooh, was that a hair? Yeah, I don't want that in there. So, nice, round, firm. Again, don't let the buns intimidate you. Grab hold of those buns. And once you start getting real good, you can do 2 at a time. And then once you're real good, Che, you can close your eyes and just do it by feel. I remember when my pastry chef was training me, it was really hard for me to do two hand. Um, I don't know why. I don't know what it was, but my left hand didn't want to work as well. So you're just using the counter to and the outsides of your hands to create a tight ball. That's all it is. And if your left doesn't want to work, which I don't know if mine is here, again, the trick to this is doing it like you don't care. So, see, there we go. Perfect. And if there is just a little, um, if you find the bottom of the bun doesn't want to close up perfectly tight for you, just pinch it closed. No big deal. All right, these are looking real nice. I'm forgetting to use my pastry cutter. I don't really care. Or my dough cutter, my kitchen scraper, whatever you call this thing. I hardly use it. These are just going to be the most delicious. I could have put a little more butter in them if I really wanted them to be a little bit more brioche. But whatever you want, however you want, is just fine with me. I'm not even weighing them out sometimes. I'm just going by look and feel. And it doesn't take that much experience. It really just takes an attitude of, I don't care. And trust me, I wouldn't be saying it if it wasn't true. You'll win you'll win every time. I'm very confident. Do it like you just don't care. And my dad said that once when we were first starting to bake in the kitchen. A few years after we started, he said, I found that the best cookies I made, he said, was when I just didn't care. And I got to agree with him. And me and my dad don't always agree. So, how many do we got going here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to end up with 10 buns here. And this will be the biggest one, and it's going to weigh. Ooh, that's a little too much. 101 grams. So if you want to make one larger bun, you can, or you can throw away a little bit of dough. It doesn't really matter. I don't care. You shouldn't either. And there you have it. 10 beautiful buns. Space them out however you want. Aren't those beauties? I think so. Yeah. Don't let the buns mess with your head. As long as they're spaced out decently, you're just fine. So, where do you go from there? Now, we're going to let those rise. If you want, you could brush them with just a tiny little bit of oil to keep them moist as they rise, especially if, they seem a little dry. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I greased my parchment first, so I'm just going to kind of take my brush, take a little bit of that grease from the parchment, and just brush the tops of those a little bit. Nothing too serious. Will it make much of a difference? Not really. Either way. However, try it for yourself. And like I said, the whole wheat is really the trickster here. It can sometimes suck a lot more moisture out than you expected it to. So it doesn't hurt to brush these with a little bit of oil before they rise, but not too much because you don't want to inhibit the rise either. But it's like with the fresh yeast, again, it's the unstoppable force. It'll make even the most dense bread product rise. So there you have it. I'm going to cover these up, and they are going to go back in the oven. Again, reheat 120 degrees, 125 Fahrenheit, right around there. And these buns will have risen in about 45 minutes to an hour. And then we're going to brush them with some egg wash, a little bit, brush them with some egg wash and sprinkle some sesame seeds on them. And then we're going to bake them off. It's going to be beautiful. I'll be coming back once these are done rising, and you should too. I'll see you in a bit.